Hey there, Lala here. In my earlier red light therapy videos, I was feeling great, loving my setup, and thrilled with the results of my daily sessions. So I was excited to share what a year of red light therapy had been like for me. But I never did that 1 year review, and here's why. It turns out there was so much more going on than the results that I could see and feel. Sharing something this personal is really out of my comfort zone. So I hope people will be considerate when commenting, and like, subscribe, or a kind comment would really let me know this was worth sharing. I had 2 areas that were being closely monitored for cancer risks, and this was long before I ever started red light therapy. It's really important for you to understand the timeline so it's clear when I started red light therapy in relationship to when tumors on my thyroid and a lump in my breast was detected. And more importantly, when the inexplicable changes happened, which is what I'm covering in this part 1 video. But first I have to say, I'm not making any medical miracle claims here. I'm simply sharing my experience, my actual images, and my results. So take from it what you will. However, once you watch part 2, you'll understand why I can't help but wonder if red light therapy saved my life. Since there's nothing I need to be doing between follow-up mammograms, ultrasounds, and biopsies, I try to put it out of my mind until it's time for the next round of testing. So neither of the 2 cancer risks were on my mind at all when I was looking into red light therapy. It was my search for alternatives to pain medication that led me to red light therapy. I actually have a pretty high tolerance for pain, which is great because I'm forever doing dumb things and getting hurt. And also there's the usual stuff that goes along with getting old, like arthritis. Anyway, a neck injury had me worried I might be in a pain management situation, and I didn't want that management to be pills, if at all possible. Red light therapy turned out to be a great solution for pain. Seriously, like everywhere. But I'll tell you more about that in another video when I do an updated review on red light therapy. Let's get to the cancer risk part. I have a bunch of tumors on my thyroid, which were first detected when I think I was about 50, so way back in 2010. After several years of ultrasounds and biopsies, I asked my endocrinologist, why can't we just remove my thyroid? Why do I have to sit around waiting for it to turn cancerous? I guess my thyroid was functioning properly because his response was, we don't remove functioning body parts. And I guess removing your thyroid wreaks havoc on your body. And in late 2020, a lump was found in my right breast during a routine mammogram, which was followed by several rounds of mammograms and ultrasounds in that first year, with little or no change. And around that same time, I had a friend going through chemo for breast cancer, and she had these little stickers that said, save the tatas. Well, I decided if my lump turned cancerous, I was getting stickers that said, ta-ta, tatas. Again, I thought removing the risk sounded like a good idea. Apparently, I was getting ahead of myself because at this point, they were calling it a complex cyst, which they explained to me as being a cyst with abnormal cells inside. But at least with no significant changes after all those follow-ups, now I was going to be able to just do yearly mammograms and ultrasounds. In 2021, due to, let's say, the medical landscape, it was nearly impossible to get in just for routine medical care. So all my follow-ups were postponed. Finally, in January of 2022, I was able to get my tests again. And here's how things looked just weeks before I started red light therapy. This is my thyroid. I find ultrasound images pretty confusing, but I'll describe the areas I do know. It's weird that the right side of my thyroid appears on the left side of the image, but it's noted in other images, here where it says overall, that it's the right side. So I think this is my larynx, and here are the 2 sides of my thyroid. This is the more normal side over here, and you can look at the edges and see it's clearly a different shape than this other side, which is larger and dips down here, and obviously has nodules or tumors. The doctor actually calls them both. It's taller. In fact, this whole top line here you can see is higher than the other side, and it actually starts more like at the center. Let's take a look at one of these close-ups. Ew. They look so big like this. Okay, anyway, this is just the right side where those larger nodules are. And this one here is the one they always biopsy. They may have done this one too at some point. And I can actually feel that side being larger here. I don't think you're going to be able to see it on screen, but so this area right here, this is all kind of sticking out. Not very obvious, but I can feel it. There's also images like this that have some color on it, and I think I remember asking him about it, and he said something like, that shows blood flow to the area. I imagine it can't be anything too good because it's showing right in the areas where the lumps are. It's been growing slowly for so long that I can't tell any small changes. But reviewing the images with my doctor, he points out any new nodules or changes in size. And here's an image of my right breast, the one with the lump. I'm surprised they're able to detect anything with a mammogram. I need something pointing to the area of concern because this looks perfectly normal to me. In fact, it looks just like the image of my left breast, the side with no lump. See what I mean? How all the lower mammogram images look exactly the same? But here, in this ultrasound close-up, even if there wasn't a yellow box around it, the oval mass is really obvious. But there was no significant changes, so that was good news. So then I spent an entire year happily enjoying all the benefits of my new full-body red light therapy setup. Now it's a year later, March of 2023, and I have my usual mammogram and ultrasound follow-up. But when the results come in, instead of getting the usual, no change, see you in a year, I'm told to come right back in for retesting. While I'm nervously waiting for the retest results, it suddenly occurs to me. I never thought about what, if any, effect red light could be having on my cancer risks. With wounds healing so quickly and my hair growing faster than it used to, could red light be having the same effect on my tumor or lump? Had my fear of pain medication clouded my judgment and kept me from looking at the bigger picture? I didn't have to wait long to find out. I was nearly in tears when on a Sunday I saw my doctor's office name on the caller ID. I'd never gotten a call on a Sunday from a doctor before, so I figured this had to be pretty bad. By the end of the call, I was in tears. Happy tears. The lump was gone. Not smaller, gone. Red light win number 1. And just a week or two later came red light win number 2. Although not as dramatic, still a great win. The thyroid ultrasound results were in, and the largest tumor was now measuring smaller, and one of the smaller nodules couldn't even be detected at all. Just to be safe, I had a biopsy on the largest one, and it came back still non-cancerous. And now I get to go 3 years between my follow-ups. If you're skeptical that red light therapy is what brought about these changes, I get it. I was skeptical too, which is why I didn't do a video right away. So I thought about it for quite a while longer. I filmed it a couple times and I was so uncomfortable doing the filming and I really wasn't sure, should I say this made the difference? Until the topic of part 2 came up. I'm pretty sure part 2 in this little red light cancer series will make a believer out of you, either in red light therapy or miracles. Again, please be considerate of how hard this was for me to share before commenting. Thanks, and I wish you all the best of health.